Hey guys, Tyrep here bringing you a 2v2 today. Here on Rails and Metal. Today spawning in the northwest Stalker playing as US forces. Straight away going for Airborne. Teaming up with him is Alexandro or Alejandro, I don't know. Alexandro, we'll go with that. More English style pronunciation. As Soviets with anti-infantry. TomCat is Ostheer with Storm. And Doge also with Ostheer going for elite troops, so immediate lock-ins from everybody so far this game. The Stalker going for like a Pathfinder mortar start here. Can certainly understand if he's playing on this side of the map. You know, this building is always such a headache, but we'll see how it goes from the other side of the map. See if he can get some good value out of it. But it looks like he was intending to go for that type of strategy while the Pathfinders were cooling down. Go for the mortar in the meantime. You can do some back capping with it, of course. Oh, I forgot to mention rankings. Random team this side, 135, one around 45, I think it was. Axis with a ranged team of 2, around rank 60. Maxim setting up, but at a bad position ultimately. MG jumped into the building right next door.
We have a fresh grenadier squad.
Forcing out quite quickly, but we do have the mortar on this side of the map now, and they'll blast that MG out of the building real fast. Good connections on that first shot especially. Alexandro having quite a lot of trouble.
Mortar team reports ready for combat.
Also going for the mortar now. Maybe not necessary given his teammate brought one over and that's assisting quite a lot, but going for one himself. Also went for a Maxim, which you don't see too often this early on. Might be part of the reason why struggle. Oh boy, this is trouble. Ambo right here next to the Grenadiers. It is a little bit slow. Maybe could have come in for the Faust. Not going to get the opportunity. So yeah, Allies with pretty strong control of their fuel, but the rest of the map not going too well for them. Jumps out of the building. Lieutenant jumps in and cycles through it. I was surprised why Doge jumped out of the building there in the first place, but alright.
Our headquarters has been improved. We can now build light mechanized infantry.
Yeah, triple cap against the Allies now. Definitely a tough start for them. Still have that fuel control though. Here comes the flamer. Made out. No dodge. Ooh, very late dodge. Looks like it didn't do any damage. Oh boy. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Crit. Which can only happen when your flamer squad essentially dies, right? But then got merged into to stay alive. Like a remnant of used to be where flamethrowers could just randomly explode at any time from getting shot. This is where the crit ended up. Just could only happen when you're absolutely on death's door. Yeah, oh man, I'm now reminiscing on like a video that I saw where somebody upgraded the flamethrower and like immediately first shot that they took, flamethrower exploded. Fun times. MG on the fuel, but can get flanked by Lieutenant, and the mortar actually slamming home some pretty good damage here as well. Looks like Stalker also going for kind of a light start. Maybe one squad less than we see at this stage, going for the early ambulance and the fast officer tech. But yeah, definitely contributed to the very slow start of the Allies. Between that and the tier 2 start from Alexandro. Molotov onto the door there, interesting. Command squad though, dodged most of the damage. And half track for TomCat. Don't have the Regal mines in this commander anymore. Hunted some of those. Oh, mortar got decrewed there by the stormtroopers. Jumped on top of by the Jaeger command squad, but cost him his whole squad doing that. Questionable whether that was worthwhile. Another of those anti-infantry mines, kind of like S mines, but without the flags. But they're quite a lot more annoying to plant. Don't plant big patches of them, you just have to plant one at a time. Activates the tactical advance there. Now on hold fire. Oh, that's why they weren't shooting when they were moving. Because they were still on hold fire. You couldn't see it though because it was covered up by the tactical advance indicator. Interesting. 222 surging forwards. Stalker having to get out of there with the ambo. Getting overwhelmed at the moment. Does have an anti-tank gun. But wasn't in position to deal with the 222.
A capture point is under attack.
Rifenade out, good dodge. Or not Rifenade. We did have the G43s, of course. And we got some bazooka assault guards. Try and get in range of the half track. Oh boy. Just retreat with them, please. I've got so much manpower here. Oh no. Oh, okay. This is a very inefficient style so far from Alexandro. Just throwing away manpower, torching it, not really getting that many rewards for it in return either. He lost one of his. Oh no, still alive. Take a quick look at the KD here. We can see the Allies really struggling, especially Alexandro. Okay, Combat Engineer's going to get out of there alive. Didn't manage to get the decap on the fuel though. Did lose control of their fuel there for a while. So Stalker fighting back now though. Gonna airdrop in some paratroopers. Should have them stabilized. Allies with some decent territory control at the moment, but I imagine the Axis are going to be first to their medium tanks by a fair margin, so it's probably when they're going to make a big push back onto the field. Neither of them, though, have started their battle phase yet, so maybe they're a little bit late getting things going in that department, but might not impact them. Sometimes it pays to get that early, just so, you know, your Pyro squad has retreated, you have an opportunity, good opportunity to get your tech down. Those Eastern Front factions. MG is going to be the option for the paratroopers. Fair choice on this map, I would say.
We're losing a capture point.
That being said, if you can like work your way into some retreat paths, those Thompsons are very strong. Grenade out. Shallow one though. Doesn't end up connecting. Oh, good connection. No dodge. At the infantry though, maybe hoping to knock out that light cover. Maybe lost sight of the 222 out the back. Assault guards don't seem to be getting much done with their bazookas so far against that half track. Yeah, I have been playing a little bit with the assault guards lately myself with the bazookas, and they're okay, but I feel like their formation just doesn't really suit bazooka wielding that much. I just feel like they end up bleeding way too much manpower because they have quite a tight formation. So every time they get hit by like AoE damage, they end up bleeding a lot of manpower, it feels like. Probably a similar story for the paratroopers, I suppose. Okay, get the Molotov off there, and it does weaken the Grenadiers significantly. Now we've got 2 squads into the retreat path, looking for the wipe here maybe. Turn also has to be careful, retreating. Can't quite get the wipe though. Very close calls, a little bit slow switching the focus fire across. Captain using on me there to get the paratroopers mobilized. Yeah, it looks like Stalker, having some success on his side of the map, coming across to assist his teammate, and does force TomCat back quite a long way, even with that reinforcement half track. Double mortars from TomCat. Did he build the Ostheer mortar later on, or had he already stolen the Soviet mortar at that stage? I'm not sure. The Stalker, by switching sides, does leave the fuel side a little bit exposed. Also doesn't have his ammo back at base, so has to stop by the ambulance on the front lines first. Conscripts coming in. Oh, gets suppressed after just such a short burst, and the assault guards just getting mulched up. They don't even have a chance to gain veterancy at the moment. They're doing so little damage. Those Vet 2, Vet 3 LMG Grenadiers are just chopping them to pieces before they can even get a sniff of doing damage. So something you have to be aware of, It's really hard to get veterancy with them if you call them in quite late. Oh no, the mortar strike hard there. MG decrewed. Do have the conscripts nearby though, could jump on top of that. Still 4 men. This building making things tough for Stalker. You do have the option of wiring off that door, making it a little bit harder for the southern player to access. The 50 cal got decrewed over there by a rifle nade as well. Head onto the MG, didn't quite get the decrew. The echelon could come over to this side. Jumps into the building, okay. Jumps out of it though with the flamethrower. You do recover from suppression a lot faster if you're inside a building, so if the flame wasn't there, that would have been a good move. T70, a very, very late one from Alexandro. Very late. The emphasis here on very late. Did I mention this is very late? My word. See, from the amount of fuel he has, could have fielded a medium tank just about, as long as he had the manpower for it. Doesn't have any sweepers on the combat engineers either. This is like a very, very common telemine area that he just drove through. Easily could have lost it just then. Or even TomCat, with the shoe mines potentially on the half track. I don't know, we've seen him plant any so far, but they're quite nice. Incendiary artillery coming down now. Doesn't have a huge amount of momentum to push forwards with. Bringing the T70 back in on low health though, trying to get something going here. And the allies at the moment with the superior map control, TomCat running. It's just maybe a tiny bit slow getting their medium tanks out. Doge could have got one out if he spared the manpower. Also has double mortars. Okay, so double mortars for both the axis on this map. That's interesting. And it must be part of their tactics at that stage, right? Use of the forward healing from that half track jumping inside. And yeah, TomCat deciding to go for a howitzer before a medium tank, which is interesting. I mean, already with double mortars for both players and decides to go for a howitzer first. A little bit unusual, but looks like it's lining up on a pretty congested area for Stalker. Could take a lot of damage from this LFH. Stalker going for the Scott first, double anti-tank gun Scott. Seems to be by far the most popular USF build these days. Oh boy, just throwing away the machine gun there. Clumsy stuff from Alexandro. Stalker's trying to get in close here, but outnumbered 2-on-1. They just can't get their veterancy going. So really missing out on their boosted damage and survivability against those max vet grenadiers. Oh boy, Pio, misclick from TomCat, ends up going down there. Now doesn't have any pioneers at all, gonna have to rebuild that. Scott trying to get some work done, but Pack gets one shot through. TCE repaired. Pack having to reposition. One bazooka connecting there, didn't even get the second one off. TCE backing away at a pretty good time, still ends up taking damage though. Looks like he did manage to jump back on that machine gun. Might have cost him his conscripts though, he's down one squad of conscripts. TomCat really making heavy use of that half track for the healing for the forward presence. Barely ever has to retreat at the moment. The mortars starting to stack up some kills. 5 and 3 over here. 4 on this one. Oh boy, that could be a lost grenadier. Captain can't quite finish the job again. Meanwhile, we've got the LFH blasting down. Looks like a D-cruise with the M1 back here. And now the machine gun in some trouble as well for Stalker. Through that with the Pathfinders? No. So the Pathfinders do have the double bars now, so they will be very powerful against infantry. And here we go, KV-8 on the field. No medium tanks at all from the Axis. Makes me really wonder what Moron King Doge was doing even building that. Looks like he's trying to stall for the ace, putting down tier 4 now. And here we go. KV-8 getting going. Double packs though for TomCat, so it does have a decent option to stop this. If it was just the one pack, it wouldn't be enough, but double packs. And here we go, sprinting in for the Faust. We get behind the side blocker here for a little bit. Not for long enough though. Down goes the KV-8. Didn't bounce any shots there. Maybe a bit of bad luck for Alexandro. Oh boy, and he loses the T-70 as well. A few propaganda down over here.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
But yeah, a little bit sloppy with the KVA control. Maybe a little bit unlucky that it didn't bounce any shots. But even if it did bounce one, it probably was expected to there. Probably wouldn't have survived. It was just so deep. It's so slow when it gets engine damage. Okay, decrew on the mortar. That was the high vet one as well. Could steal that away potentially. Forcing a whole bunch of retreats out the back here. Did he manage... Did Doge have 3 mortars? It looks like he did, right? Okay, well, I didn't even notice that. Looks like TomCat also losing a mortar now. 9 kills so far on the howitzer, barrage in this area, but it looks like Stalker setting up quite a bit further back this time. Double Scots going.
The enemy is gaining a foothold. We are down.
But yeah, especially on a map like this, these double Scots are going to be hard to flank.
We are losing a sector.
The long line of sight of the Major, the Pathfinder's going to be hard to, like, really nowhere to hide from them. You have smoke available for TomCat and smoke available from their mortars, so maybe that will be the way forwards for the Axis against the mass Scot action.
Contact! Enemy MG!
But yeah, so far the VP's very close to even. Feels like the Axis have had the advantage for most of this map, but the Axis have had maybe slightly substandard VP control. How strong their resource control's been. Oh, fire down. They're going for some floaters over the building here. That's pretty good health damage done. Oh, the guards coming in from the side with the bazookas. Exchanging grenades. Smoke grenades though. Might have been a concussive grenade. Oh, Pathfinders. Oh, it's a dangerous game they're playing. Brumbeer wants to chase in for the wipe on them here. Nice attempts. Good awareness though from Stalker retreating early on. Against these, high-level players. Oh no! There goes the tank gun. Very good at chasing you down and going for those attack rounds to finish off a retreating unit. Sentry grenade, but it's not going to work. Double Scots going forwards. 1 anti-tank gun for Doge, and it's not really the right location at the moment. They have quite a lot of trouble. Oh boy, another KV-8. Constantly running into the double packs. This time bouncing a few hits though. Gets away alive. As you can see, a late activation on the target weak point there from TomCat. If he activated that a bit earlier, might have been able to get the kill. Brumbeer coming in quite deep here, getting the decrew on the anti-tank gun. Brumbeer did also get very low. Could be seeing the end of one of these grenadiers now. This time, the captain getting the job done. Third Scot, meanwhile, from Stalker, and he's got the P-47s ready to rumble.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped
LFH out the back, getting the decrew on the freshly recruit anti-tank gun. That's really bad luck for Stalker. Decrew that with his paratroopers as well. Doesn't look like a paratrooper uniform there. Second howitzer now as well from TomCat. The first one already up to 24 kills. It's the fastest howitzer kill counts I think I've seen.
Enemy is taking our territory.
Okay, P-47s did come down, but Brumbier was already long gone at that stage. I don't think it took any damage from them. Sherman coming in. Hoping for the deker on the pack, can't quite get it though. And the Scots can. Stalker playing it safe though, doesn't want to take engine damage over here, so backing out. TomCat meanwhile, with this mass infantry and howitzer style, doesn't have any room in his popcat for a tank now. So he's very reliant on those double packs doing the work. If they get decrewed by something like a Katyusha or even the KV-8 if it gets right on top of them, right next to each other almost the entire time, this could collapse very quickly for TomCat. And just in general, the Axis may be lacking a bit of anti-tank. I suppose up against the Scots, they're not under quite as much threat on Stalker's side, but he does now have the Sherman as well. And for another Sherman to stack on top of that also. Still very, very tight on the victory points between these two teams. Plane out from TomCat. Maybe he could reposition those howitzers over to that ambo. So maybe go for the mortar instead. Oh, one of them targeting over here now. Comes the Brumbier. If they tank gun nearby for Alexandro. Assault guards do get out the back, do a bit of damage combined with the KV-8 flames. Get propaganda down as well. Assault guards charging down the road. And he's trying to sprint away. Oh, the MG suppression kicks in. Scripts Molotov out though. KV-8 trying to avoid getting snared, sprinting in. Not quite able to get it going though. Packs not really in hot pursuit. KV-8 going to come back in. Double Shermans on the far side making a bit of a move. We do have the pack over there. Could very easily get overwhelmed. Could be a little bit further away. Squad's in trouble on retreat. Pack setting up. This is very, very risky for Doge. Squad goes down. Stalker decides that's good enough. Disengaging. One thing I don't think we've seen from the Axis too much is the mines. Tell us we'll go quite a long way. Keeping things safe when you're lacking a bit of anti-tank like this. And potentially could even one-shot those Scots if they get close enough. Ambo did survive that howitzer barrage, it looks like. Quite low on health now though. The Buster. Building quite low in health. I mean, I suppose the KV-8 doesn't really do that much building health immediately with the flamethrower, so probably okay in that department, but Katyusha barrage here and that machine gun is straight up dead. No way he gets out of it in time. Big damage done, 19 kills now. So Doge can finally afford the ace now as well. Okay, we've got P-47s called in on this side, going after the Brumbier perhaps. The double Shermans charging in. KV-8 making a bit of a move, but getting hit by the target weak point. Amount of damage. Critical. Sherman's now disengaging. Oh, there we go. Assault guards with the assault grenades there, getting the D-crew on the pack. That's one pack down. Oh, Katyusha has fired already. 7 kills. I don't think I noticed it too much. It was quite a chaotic sequence there. TomCat with plenty of manpower to rebuild with, though. And I imagine these Shermans will start to struggle once that ace hits the front line. If the Allies could have done a tiny bit more damage there, maybe knocked out that pack, or this pack, for good, destroyed the weapons, they could have been in quite a nice position, but those packs still alive, they still could struggle, because they're also lacking a bit in anti-tank. Stalker, no anti-tank himself. Looks like his ammo did end up going down to a further howitzer barrage. And the rebuild on that now. Does have the anti-tank gun here for the recruit potentially, though. Yeah, 2 Shermans struggle against the ace. Scott's working in the centre here. Guards have finally vetted up. You can see this takes, if they're running into like a 2-on-1 like this, they take too much damage on approach to really be that effective. By the time they're getting close, they have to retreat. Don't have the durability of the shock troops like that. There we go, double Shermans trying to get the wipe on the P-Green Shreks, now in some trouble against the ace. Or even the Brumby getting a direct hit there. You don't see that too often. And there goes one of the Sherman tanks.
We just lost a medium tank.
One does get away, but it's big time howitzer barrage action coming through. Oh, and there we go. The anti-tank gun also getting destroyed with that hit, so not available for the recrew anymore. As I said, the Allies don't really have the answer to this ace at the moment. This is about to take engine damage now as well. Bazookas on the rear though of the ace can do quite a lot of damage. Can switch over to the 45mm gun as well, probably worthwhile. Switching over now, a little bit late. Does have pretty good penetration in the very, very close ranges. Back away here. Oh, there's this decruit in the center, so he doesn't really have any support for the KV-8 to back into. Now there's this either. Looking good for Alexandro. Oh, got a bounce. I think that was from the ace. KV-8 doesn't get away though. S-35 in the works. A little bit slow building that though. So he does have plenty of resources in reserve after starting that even. That could have probably stopped that Tiger Ace from diving in so far there. So that was a pretty devastating push from the Axis. Got a lot of damage done. 1 Sherman down. Looks like 2 of the Scots are dead now as well. Anti-tank gun destroyed. KV-8 down. And now TomCat having lost a few units, and looks like he lost what is how it says decrewed. Maybe by the incendiary artillery. Kind of looks like incendiary artillery texture on the ground there. Oof. Okay. Good wipe there. Doge just a little bit low on infantry now after all that. Bazooka's connecting. And there we go, SU-85 kicking in from the side. Looks like Alexandro did manage to recruit the Ostheer as well. Incendiary artillery coming down. Oh, fair propaganda in fact. Force away that machine gun in the centre. interesting that Stalker did decide to go for the paratroopers instead of a Jackson. Which would be the much safer option, especially when you're up against the Brumbeer, which can bleed the paratroopers so badly, and also would free up some munitions instead of spending them on the bazookas. Could spend them maybe on the P-47s. So that probably wasn't the best call overall.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Now a Werfer from TomCat. I think he could quite fit into his pop cap though. He's recruited the second howitzer. Sprinting away from the grenades. Nicely done.
Capture point is under attack.
Tiger on spearhead mode now. Good to work. Australia 5 not on prioritized vehicles though. Shooting at infantry. Quite badly out of position. Looks like the Ziskov decrued again for Alexandro. What is he doing with this SU-85? This is very clumsy play. Shooting at infantry. Tiger Ace can easily come back in here, maybe finish the job. Looks like only one Shrek connected. Ace would have had to pop blitz to close the distance in time to make that as well. To Vet 2 now though, got the range bonus on that. Assault guards coming in from the rear, looking to do some damage perhaps. On spearhead mode, so the Tiger could switch its turret around to face them. Oh boy, but the Brumbeer getting a big hit. Thought they were already retreating. And the Ace finishing the job on the retreating squad. Not the best maneuvering from Alexandro. Plenty of resources floating as well. Could afford another SU-85, probably the best option at the moment. We also could do another squad of conscripts. Just for snares, otherwise that Panther and the Tiger Ace have trouble knocking them out without getting engine damage on them first. 35 not very healthy here. It just keeps shooting at infantry. Man, this is some really bad play from Alexandro. Very tight on the VP still though. The Axis feels like they're very strong, but they just maybe don't have the infantry to cap with at the moment. They've been suffering quite a few infantry losses lately. The Allies are doing that very well, keeping the VP pressure on. Double Panthers now for TomCat, charging through the center. Brumbeer up out the machine gun. There's Stug in the mix now for Doge. 47's dropped down, but the Panthers are driving right past them. Some bazookas there though. Trying to do their best. Spearhead though suppressing the Lieutenant bazookas. Scott in some trouble isolated. SU-85 coming in from the side. Missing a shot on the Stug, and this is just some horrible tank control. Still alive though. Oh, misses again, that SU-85. And why did he go for another KV-8 in face of this many tanks? Oh, the Brumbeer nearly going down. Oh, and it does go down. He's trying to repair it right on the edge of the circle there. I guess the machine gun on the Brumbeer revealed it in the fog of war. It goes down to the P-47, so that's something for the Allies. They needed something. Oh, now the Panther too? The zombie planes. Oh my god. Heartbreak for TomCat. The circle had disappeared so long ago. But the planes were still circling. And they come in for one last pass after the circle had disappeared. Probably almost like 30 seconds earlier. Just have to like pay attention for those audio cues. Here the plane's circling, still stay out of the previous targeting zone. It can happen if like the second pass of the planes come in very, very late in the abilities activation. End up coming through for a third pass well after the circle has disappeared. Zuka's taking quite a lot of bleed from the spearhead ace. But still, allies with that VP control, TomCat making use of the half track.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
And yeah, having knocked out that Panther as well as the Brumbeer, that really opens things up for the allies.
Prepared to drop smoke.
They were really in some deep trouble not too long ago, but it certainly steadied the ship. Second rebuild on the SU-85 now.
The enemy has 100 points remaining.
Just ready to fire again. Double packs right there. Could be a good target. Facing the other direction though will take a while before it can turn and fire. Target weak point active. Misses, couple bounces though. KV-8 still alive. Incendiary artillery dropped on the double packs, in fact. And the KV-8 surviving. The Panther missing the killing blow. Heartbreaker for TomCat. Does manage to keep his packs alive though, dodging out of that incendiary artillery in the nick of time. Shusha into the center, looking to prevent the capture. Does get the neutralize. Rebuild on the Brumbeer, taking some big hits from the Jackson. It's got the armor-piercing rounds equipped. Missing this follow-up, but here comes the SU-85 through the center now. That's up to Vet 1. We've got a second Jackson in the mix for Stalker as well. Veta Jackson though getting isolated somewhat. Got a few misses though. Oh, there it goes. Oh, but gets an extra shot off while it's out of control. Smoke out from Doge. SU-85 from the side though, doesn't care about that smoke. We do have the Shreks now though. So SU-85 decide to disengage. Jackson swarming in, managing to finish off the Stug. Looking for the Tiger next. Will it die to one more shot or not? It's hard to tell sometimes with the ace. It's got so much health. Main gun crit, so that's the green light to stay in there. Prioritize vehicles, switching the turret in the wrong direction. He switches over to hold fire. Really wants to kill off that ace. He pops the blitz now. Such a late blitz activation. But it might be enough to get away, try and dodge behind the trees, getting behind the line of sight blocker. Paratroopers meanwhile go down to the grenade there, it looked like. Maybe it was the Brumbeer. Good news though that the fair propaganda forcing the retreat so that Jackson can get out of there safely. Or maybe not. Here comes the Panther from the other side. We've got the SU-85 quite deep as well. Jackson's still alive after that one shot. And the pack's lining up on the SU-85. Oh, the Jackson's accidentally shooting at the pack instead of the Panther. We have the bazookas there and the Panther missing again for TomCat. Heartbreaker for TomCat. He's just missing all of those Panther shots. And now Axis after that, you can see they're really down in the dumps in terms of army size. They do have a bunch of team weapons they could recrew. Start grinding their way back in with that. Didn't even notice this, but this howitzer did go down at one stage. Second howitzer. Rebuild on the Zis for Alexandro. We might go for the rebuild on the SU-85. Probably would be a better call. Chusha jamming the capture now. KV-8 could basically just full disrespect the pack and just drive right on top of it. Get the decrew. And a Strug in the mix now for Doge, who still has quite a lot of manpower, needs to get some more units coming through, with like an extra pile or two. Some repairs, of course, maybe a pack. Axis very low on VPs though, that's got to be their first priority. Just going to try smoke and then come back in on that VP.
We have nearly won. The enemy is down to 25 points.
So TomCat maybe try to save for another Panther, but it doesn't look like it's going to come through in the nick of time. Time for the pack now instead. Going to help deal with that KV-8.
Our brave infantry is
Yeah, but
dying.
there we go. The Axis decided to throw in the towel. Oof. Well, it seemed like the Axis were in the lead for overall the majority of this match, but they definitely neglected the VP captures. And then maybe some slightly unlucky tank sequences for TomCat, missing a few killing blows with his Panther. And how quickly things turn around. Also, you know, I did mention mines quite a few times this game, but, you know, that deep dive from the Jackson wouldn't have worked if there was some mines down this pretty common pathway, even to just protect rocket artillery if you end up going for it at one stage. But, yeah, maybe that letting the Axis down somewhat against the aggressive Allied armor attack, but overall a good game and good resilience from the Allies to end up winning this one. I thought they were out of it at quite a few points throughout the match. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like good game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.